Hey everybody, so you may have seen recently something has happened which highlights exactly why I use Patreon to run this channel, and I choose to do honest reviews on everything, and I choose not to take the sponsorships from random companies because of exactly what's just happened. As you may very well be aware of a company called Established Titles, it's basically a company which was promoting through lots of different creators, and their idea is that they sell a foot of land in Scotland to someone, and then because they own this piece of tiny bit of land, they can be a lord and call themselves lords and, you know, get a declaration of lordship. It's a complete scam to my understanding, because in Scottish law, you're not allowed to buy souvenir plots of land specifically, and to get the lordship side you have to show true dissension from people who previously had it. So it was pretty obvious from the get-go that this company was a bit, you know, questionable, to say the least. Well, as I say, lots and lots of creators took them on board, got paid by them, you know, basically scammed some people out of some money. Now, as I say, this is just my opinion. If you want to see a breakdown of this whole thing, check out a guy called Scott Schaefer. In fact, I'll put a link to his video in the description or somewhere, you know, because he goes through and explains how basically Kamikoto Knives, which we already know Kamikoto Knives has been promoting across lots of different YouTubers, and there are YouTubers out there, I believe, what's his name, Shard, something like that. He did a test of Kamikoto Knives and discovered that they were okay, but not for the price. They were like way overpriced for what they were. Well, as it turns out, Kamikoto Knives, Established Titles, Deal Dash, which is basically like eBay, but you make very small bids. It's more like gambling, actually. That's what it's like. You put a punt of £2 in, and you might win something worth 200 quid. But if you put a £2 punt on 100 things, that's a £200 bill. So if the thing you got was worth 50 quid, well, now you've lost out quite substantially. All these companies, by the way, are run by the same people, it would appear. And there's also a manufacturing company that which is making stuff and then selling it through Deal Dash, which was making out they were a lot more expensive than they actually were, because they're the ones who actually made the product. So, you know, it's scammy as hell. The thing that's annoyed me about this is the simple fact that months ago, when I first heard about them, I was like, that sounds a bit scammy. That sounds like the old buy a plot on the moon thing. Well, as no one owns the moon, no one can sell you a plot to it. So you can go and give someone some money for a piece of paper that says you own a plot, but you don't. So I looked into it. Months ago, there was content available online through a simple search of Established Titles and Scam that explained that they weren't quite right. So it means all those creators didn't do the simple search and a bit of due diligence to make sure that they weren't aiding at scammers to scam their audience, because they're more interested in making the moolah. Now, I need to make the moolah too, right? But I have like morals about scamming people and taking on sponsors that you haven't vetted, or taking on products which are dangerous or crap, or a company that sells you a product and then screws you over. Like, those are things that matter, as well as I can make money off of this thing. And as I say, this is why I run my channel through a Patreon, through honesty, through being beholden to you and no one else, and not taking on these sponsorships, because it's a slippery bloody slope. Because once you put yourself onto that drip feed of money from them, you make that the way you earn money, now you're in a position that you're going to take every and any ad that comes to you. I mean, supplements and stuff is another great example. No one but doctors should be suggesting supplements to people. A lot of these supplements are not legal, they're not approved. No one, unless you're a doctor and you're qualified to say so, should be trying to sell supplements, in my opinion. I mean, some of the shittier podcasts and things like that rely on selling supplements to people. You know, pills and boosters and all sorts of stuff to increase your sex drive, or do this or do that, or it's just playing on people's insecurities, inventing issues and giving them a placebo at a high cost just so they can make a bit of money out of it. Something I did see to do with this that made me laugh a lot was Philip DeFranco did a video about this, talking about it, and you know, all these different creators are coming forward and saying, oh, well, I won't be working with them anymore. Doesn't matter, mate, you've already taken them on board. You didn't check beforehand. You literally had to search Established Titles Scam. You didn't have to do much. You did nothing. And then you're like, oh, well, you know, it's all right, I won't go with them anymore. Sure. I advise that anyone who watches your content doesn't go with the sponsors that you back unless they can independently verify that they're okay. Another one is Manscaped. Manscaped, their products are questionable because they're very, very similar to much cheaper versions of things that are available on bloody AliExpress. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Philip DeFranco was talking about this and saying about how it's terrible and blah 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 and blah blah, and then goes straight into a Ridge Wallet ad. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I don't hate Ridge Wallet. I just have an issue with their pricing. You see, a long time ago, they contacted me and said, would you like to work with us? And I was like, oh, actually, yeah, I really like the look of those. They look cool. Okay, let me have a look on the website, choose which one I want. Then I saw the prices. Then I was like, no way. $80 to $100 for this, no chance. Anyway, time went on. I bought a clone copy of one of them from Amazon, or eBay, Amazon, I think. So I took it all apart, made a video. You can see that if you want to, it's on my channel. And I have absolutely no idea, as a conclusion of that, as to how Ridge Wallet gets to their price. Because that thing that I bought cost $10, $15, and their one is made of the same sort of materials and doesn't look that much different. How have you increased the cost by 10 times? Can't explain this to you. It's exactly the same as the Kamakoto knives, in my opinion. What you do is you take a okay product that should be around, I don't know, let's say $20. You then sell that product at $120. And sure, not as many people would buy it if they looked at it straight on as like an offer, but if you promote it, if you use lots of that profit to promote the hell out of it, that makes up for the people who would have gone, I'm not so sure about this, because of hype and influence and people who just spend money without thinking about it, or thinking maybe there's a cheaper alternative to this. You know, I get that maybe you're like, yeah, but I'm trying to help support the channel that I'm watching, so I bought one of them. What you could have done was bought a £15 one, sent your creator 20 quid, which will probably be about 20 times as much as they're going to make off of a wallet sale, and still paid significantly less than what you would have done buying a Ridge Wallet. Now, as I say, I don't hate Ridge Wallet. You know, I'm not saying they're a scam. They just make an overpriced product. But this is a perfect example of the things that I will not take. I cannot see a thing currently. So yeah, this is literally why I run my channel through Patreon. It's why I ask people to support this channel, so I don't have to go down that line of using those people. Now the thing is, if I did take one of those ads, I would probably get paid about twice as much as I earn from Patreon in a single month, if not more. And there's a reason they pay people so much. It's so they don't question it. Now, to be clear here, I'm not saying that sponsorships are bad for channels or placed ads, things like that. You know, I've done some, but the ones that I've done have been a bit different. Like the last one I did was for Bikeshaw, which is I just let you know that if you signed up to their like monthly newsletter email list, that you could win a GoPro. You see how in that scenario, I'm getting paid a little bit of money just to mention that they've got this competition going on and you can enter it for free. I'm not trying to sell you something and get a percentage of that profit back for myself. I'm just letting you know about a competition, which is why I took that one on board. So there you go, a little bit ranty I know, but it just frustrates me when I see creators making out like, you know, oh, well, I'm not going to work with that company anymore, when they could have done what I did before I didn't even work with them, and I did a bit of research and looked into it and realised what it was all about. Like, come on, dude. And there's just so many of them. It's so many of them. Anyway, till the next one, bye-bye.